Have you received the notification?
Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you. Okay, so we were doing the Colombia's final mission. Oh, how was it for everyone?
I actually enjoyed reading. I mean, it was a tragic situation, but this has been my favorite case so far. The other ones I thought were boring. They were hard to read. But this one's interesting. I think probably because I've heard of it. Because it happened in the United States, and I was a grown-up when it happened, so I remember it, and I remember the Challenger problem. So it was interesting to me to read all these like the backstory, the things that they didn't tell us on the news. So it's really sad.
Really interesting, eh?
It is.
I mean, I heard about the story, but it was interesting reading the case. Like I was able to learn and find out what the problem was and why it caused and stuff like that. So I had to read it twice, 3 times to understand.
Same here.
Yeah, there was a lot of technical stuff I didn't really understand, and so I had to go back. And it took a long time to really read it through and understand it.
Because
Also,
first it says that it was the problem caused by what do you call it, the foam strike, and then somebody else said something like it. How can a small piece of a foam cause damage that thing? What do you call it again? Peter. Peter. And then they said it could be something else, like it could be another something else that caused it. But I don't know. What do you guys think?
I just think it was sad that so many things that, like, oh, my husband and I were talking a few days ago. I can't remember. We were talking about a nurse or something. There was some article about a nurse who she did the wrong dose of something, and I can't remember. What was it? Anyway, we were saying how important it is for a nurse to get her job right, because it's a life or death situation. And my husband was like, everybody messes up in their job, like nobody does their job 100% perfectly every single day. But for some people, if they don't do their job 100% perfectly every day, people can die, and that makes it so much more serious. And so I don't know. I mean, how angry or what kind of consequences do you give people, who are just other human beings trying to do their job? And you see what I'm saying? Like, is it fair to expect perfection from someone else at their job just because their job is a life and death situation? I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't really have an answer for that. Just something to think about, that.
Yeah, just by reading the case, I mean, they all knew that it was a problem that happened every time they lunch. That's always been the problem, and they haven't really seriously looked into it. No, they haven't. I'm not sure if they thought about it, that what they're doing is risking other people's life and stuff, like what you're saying.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they knew, but they have that light thoughts, oh, it's not a problem, it's not gonna be that serious.
Yeah,
Because we've
because
just,
it had happened.
sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just agreeing on Sister Susan's point that they just took it lightly because I remember reading somewhere along the case that they thought it was just an acceptable risk. So they've survived the small risk before, so this one shouldn't be an issue. And yet this time around, it created even a worse issue that could have been avoided if only the managers didn't just overrule what their engineers suggested, that they should delay the trip because they saw that a risk could occur, but then it was an acceptable risk. So now what do we do with the results that come from this acceptable risk?
I think it was interesting because in the past, things like that had happened before. So that's why they said it was an acceptable risk. But what they didn't do was verify that that was the same situation as what had happened before. Because I don't think it was in the reading he gave us, but I was looking up articles about it. And they said in the article that I read that the piece of foam that fell off was like 2.5 feet long and like, I can't remember. It was big. It wasn't like this, it was like this. And it fell off at a speed, it was, so it's not just like if we were driving a car and a piece of foam hit our car, it was. So what they really needed to do was get the pictures that they asked for and never got and verify, okay, how big was the piece of foam? How fast was it going? What damage did it cause? And because it wasn't the same situation that they had before. It wasn't just a small tile fell off or whatever, it was a huge piece that did a lot of damage, and they didn't verify that like they should have. So. You're muted.
Thank you. Because my son is making a lot of noise. Sister Susan, you were saying something.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because when they launched and the foam fell off, a few seconds, they had how many days to have the problem fixed? Like that was a lot of days they have to come up with a solution or to solve the problem, and that's a sad thing about it, because even the connection between them, it didn't go well. The camera didn't work, like everything that could have saved them didn't work.
Yeah.
So it sounded like they weren't thinking about all those things, taking care of those things before they launched their mission. So that's really sad.
That's true. So what can we say is the root of the situation in here with the Columbia's mission? What can we say like is the root of the situation?
The root.
I mean, I think the root would be that the managers or the people at the top did not view it as the problem that it was, that they didn't. So then you have to ask yourself, why didn't they take it seriously? Or why was it, in a way, it almost seemed like they were in denial because they wanted this flight to go off. They wanted to hit their deadlines and hit their goals, and and maybe that was more important to them than the lives of the crew. But I don't know. Also, to me, it felt like some of the engineers were talking, but nobody was really listening. You know, the one, was it Roca, or I
Yeah.
can't remember the one with an R, Roca, yeah, or Rocha or whatever. That he was the one who kept saying, like, we need these images. This is a serious situation. But nobody really listened to him. But at the same time, if he thought that someone was actually going to die, you would think that he would have spoken up and insisted on things and not let up. You know, he wasn't there every day going, we need this right now. You need to do this right now. You know, like, so in a way it was, even though he was advocating for